Okay guys, so in this video I'm going to teach you how to make your papier-mâché. So we all have our animals already, okay? But they're not covered yet. They have old bottles, they have all kinds of cardboard, they have scotch tape, they have all things that we don't want to see and that we cannot paint on. So how do we make it so that we can paint on it? We have to cover it with papier-mâché, okay? So papier-mâché is easy to make. You only need a few things. First, you're going to need glue. Now this glue is the white sticky glue, okay? This is the best kind of glue. You cannot use glue sticks, okay? You must use this kind of white glue. If you don't have any at home, you can go to Alphamart or Indomaret and they'll normally have this kind of glue, okay? It's called fox glue. The second thing you need is just a little bit of water, a place to mix it all in, and you're going to need paper and scissors. Now, the kind of paper you need is, you can have white paper, just like this. You can use newspaper, you can use, some people even use tissue, but that's not very good. The best is newspaper and writing paper. If you use magazine paper, the paper is very thick and it's hard to fit around your small pieces. So the best is normal paper or newspaper. So when you do papier-mâché, you want to have small pieces, small strands of paper. You don't want to have big pieces like this. Unless you have something very big, like maybe Zainab's penguin, and it has a big space, you usually want to have small bits of paper. So I'm going to cut it into strips like this, but still this is too long, so I'm going to cut it again, again, and again, okay? Now it depends how big your animal is. If your animal is quite big, you're going to need more paper. If it's quite small, you're going to need less. All right, so the paper is ready. You take your little dish, whatever you're going to mix your glue in, and you put some glue. Now the glue you buy at the store in Indonesia is sometimes quite hard. You don't want to have hard glue. What you want is watery glue. So what I'm going to do here, you can see that my glue is very thick, okay? I'm going to put some water in it, not very much. You put a little bit of water, and then if you need more, you put more, and then more. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my hands, because your hands are going to get sticky and gooey and gross anyways, but you can use a spoon, but the best is your hands, because that's what you're going to use. So remember, this is your project. It's not your nanny's project. It's not your mom or your dad's project or your big sister or big brother. So I want you to do it. I want you to get your hands dirty. Put it in the glue. Mix it up. Okay? So you'll know that it's finished when it's a little bit watery. This is still not watery enough. So I just put a bit more water and I mix some more. Okay, I'll show you in a second when it's ready how liquid it should be. So maybe just a little bit more, because it's not leaking, you see? It just leaks a little bit. So just put a bit more water, mix it up a little bit more, and you should be ready to go. So this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to take my seahorse here that I've made. Now you might have to do your animal in 2 stages. It means you might have to do the top first, and then you let it dry a little bit, and then you'll turn it around when it's dry, and you do the bottom, okay? So I'm not going to finish my whole seahorse here. I'm just going to show you guys a little bit what to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some glue in my hands, and I'm just going to wipe it over the paper like this until the paper is completely covered with glue, back and front. And then all I have to do is I just lay it on, okay? Now, be careful because when you do papier-mâché, it has to be nice and neat. It means that if your paper is sticking up like this and you let it dry like that, you're going to have pieces sticking out. So what you have to do, you really have to push every little piece and every little corner down so it sticks very nicely. Okay? More, put some glue, front and back, you go to a different spot. So you see here, I have to cover this. So here I'm going to really push it down, and here I can't leave it like that. That's not nice. I want to take the shape of my animal. So I push it down, I really push it down, I turn all the corners. If it's a little bit dry, I put a bit more glue. So the glue, you'll see later, when you're finished, your animal is going to become very hard and solid, which is good because then it's ready to paint. If I paint my plastic bottle, the paint is not going to stick well. Alright, so I put another piece here. Okay, make sure all the little corners of the paper are turned over. Okay? Now, I have to cover everything. If you have a hole in your animal, it means that there's a hole in the box or there's something. Like me on my cat, I had a hole here. Well, I had to put tape and then I covered it with paper. Okay? So now I just go around covering everything. My whole animal needs to be covered so it's nice and neat. It will finish being a white animal or a newspaper animal, and then it will be ready to paint. Okay? So it's very important that you cover every little piece of plastic or scotch tape or whatever cardboard you have. So I know that for Fleur, who has a big crocodile with a lot of bumps, it's going to be a lot of work. You have a lot of papier-mâché to do. Zainab, you have a big penguin. You also have a lot of work to do. But that's okay, because when you're finished, your giant animal is going to look super good. Okay? Alright, so you just see that I'm just putting glue, just continuing. I do every little space. If I see that the paper is falling off a little bit, I push it down again, I squish it, I squeeze it. Don't be afraid to squish and squeeze this. Alright. Until it's completely covered. Okay? So like I said, if you can't do the underside of your animal, it means you do the top, and then when it's dry, you turn it around and you do it again. Okay? If you want to put a few layers, it means that you want to put just a little bit of paper everywhere, and then you want it to be really solid. It means you can do it 2 times, okay? But you don't have to. Alright, guys? So, I hope you don't have any questions. Papier-mâché means you get dirty, you have some fun, you're allowed to get everything dirty, but you have to make it nice and neat. That's the most important part, is when you have little parts sticking out, little bits, you have to cover it and squish it and make sure that it's all covered so we see the perfect shape of your animal. Alright? Okay, hope you have fun with this. You can do it this weekend, you can do it next week. Now remember, your presentation will be next Friday, so you have 1 whole week to do the papier-mâché, and we're also going to talk about painting your animal, and we'll talk about that next week. Have fun with this, and see you on Monday. Bye.